Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Bitcoin. Before we jump into the price action, just want to say thank you for watching. If you are enjoying the content, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Okay, so we're still looking for that same potential here. Looking for that possibility. We're starting a bigger five-wave move to the upside here, looking to target out towards this 35,192 as a third wave. So this is still viable for as long as we hold this low here, this 26,516. Even if we do break this low, as long as we hold this support zone, technically speaking, it is still possible. So 24,810 would be the zone we are looking at a maximum to retrace down here. So we did come down to the 0.382 of this move. It is still possible, however, we look to actually retrace deeper into this. So we're going to discuss some of the counts here. We do need to be aware that we also discussed this previously, that we can also potentially look for a completion into this high, in which case we could be looking for a bigger move to the downside to play out, and potentially come down either towards this 23,580 to this 21,182, and then looking for the potential to move up from there. Once we start to break down past this 23,896, it invalidates this idea of this 1-2 idea, looking for this bigger third wave. As soon as we cross this red line, that invalidates that potential. So we need to be aware, there is still some potential here to have a sell-off, though for as long as we continue to hold bullish structure to the upside here, potentially this could look to move away. So we're going to go over that now. Um, Basically, within this structure, if we want to argue that this is a low point, basically what we want to see here is we were initially looking at it like this, looking at this fourth wave area here towards this 27,939, but we've actually come down too deep now, and it's getting quite big now in relation to this wave 2 that it was matched up against. So I'm not really liking that idea anymore. Rather, I would think that we either have a completed move into this high, or potentially we have 1-2. This could then be another 1-2, and then actually what we're looking for is extension to the upside. So these things are always possible, but from my best interpretation, this is how I am looking at it. So the reason I'm looking at it in this manner is I'm looking at this now as a 1-2, 1-2, 3, 4 is a triangle. So that allows for this overlap here because the triangle completes above the wave 1. So technically speaking, this doesn't actually break the rule, even though within the triangle, one of the legs did cross this wave 1. The end point is above it. So technically speaking, this is still a viable count. And the fact that this then came up to this 1.618 area here, this 28,597, this would allow for that fact that, within this is an extension within actually the wave 5, because this is a typical area it looks to target. So this is what I'm looking at it now. This is potentially a completed move in this case then, and now we're looking for this retracement. So we did actually come back down here towards this 0.618. The problem is the structure isn't great in the sense that it does seem like we have five-wave moves here, and I'm just being a little bit cautious that this doesn't actually break down deeper. So at the moment, what I'm looking at is that this is a zigzag here, and then potentially this is a B wave here, and then looking for that possibility to come back down one more time, either in a C wave here or a Y wave, where this becomes A, B, and C to the downside. So basically, the zone we want to continue to hold is this 27,059 area. If we start to lose that zone, it becomes quite unlikely that we're going to see this push to the upside. If we just sort of wick through it, come back up, and start to consolidate above it again and move away to the upside, that's fine. But what we don't want to see is a breakdown below these levels and then sort of consolidating below this 786 here at this 27,059. So at the moment, I'm looking at either the possibility this B wave is already completed, or alternatively, we could see something play out here like a flat A, B, and C, and then come back up and retest this trend line that we have here. In which case, the B wave rejection area would be pretty much anywhere from this 28,857 to this 28,425. If we wanted to argue that this is what's playing out, we could try and narrow this down by measuring this A wave and projecting it up, and that would give us a target zone potentially between this 28,627 to this 28,360 area. If this is going to be an expanding flat chart where this becomes A, this becomes B, and then we get a five-wave move up here, something like this: 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, up into this zone. So this could actually bring us back up into these areas, potentially retest, some of this area of consolidation here, and then actually look to break down from there. So this 50% wouldn't be unrealistic as a target zone for this to actually play out if it is a flat correction here. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that. Even if we do get a five-wave move up here, just be cautious. This could just become an A. This all becomes a B, and then we still have that push to the downside. So currently the one-to-one is down here towards this 26,917. Like I said, even if we do come down to this one-to-one, potentially we could still see a reaction off of this and then a move back up. What we don't want to see is a break below these levels, then starting to consolidate, and then, it becomes more likely that we're going to lose this low point, and that would invalidate the idea of this becoming another 1-2. And the problem is, if this was the case, then we'd have a five-wave move to the upside, which has broken its low. So in that case, it can either only be a fifth wave or a flat. So we would have to potentially discuss that as well. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But basically, this would either have to be a flat correction, the end of a flat correction, a C wave to the upside, or it would have to be a fifth wave if we take this low. Okay, so basically within this, like I said, this one-to-one is going to be an interesting area. If we do actually break down, there could be some, this could mess around a little bit in the middle here, get a little bit more complex, shake some people up to the upside, downside, and then basically move down for the C wave. So it is also possible we could see a reaction from here. I wouldn't really The only way you could argue that is if you were saying that this was a really short C wave, but I don't really like that idea. Um, to me, it would make more sense that either we're in a B and we're going to come back down for a C, or we've completed this as an X wave rather, and potentially we are forming a W, X, and a Y. So this would be that second rejection box that I've got over here. This 28,187 to this 27,938. If we failed to actually break back above this 786 at this 2817 area, what I would be anticipating is the potential we see this as an A, B, and then potentially coming down for another C wave to the downside. And if we threw that fib on as well, potentially what this could mean is we could see a move down towards this zone of this 27192 at a one-to-one. If we came back up to the 0.618, if we came back up higher, towards the 786, potentially that could bring us back down towards this zone of this 27329, and that would actually be looking to actually come back into the 706 area here, this 27,279. So yeah, I mean, at the moment, I'm still not thinking this is completed here. There is obviously, we can potentially also argue that this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to the downside as a leading diagonal here, but the problem is the fifth wave wouldn't be long enough at the moment if this is the case. Because if we have a look at this, we can see that wave 3 came down and actually crossed the one-to-one of wave 1. So that would have to mean this would have to be expanding in this case, which would mean that the fifth wave would have to be longer than basically longer than this wave this wave 3, which would actually be down towards the zone of this 27,329. So we're gonna have to just be a little bit patient here. There is that possibility this is a 1-2 and another 1-2 here, and then this thing could start to break down much deeper. We just don't have that information yet. At the moment, I think this is the most likely thing, but we need to be aware, it can actually look to break down deeper in a bigger five-wave move, because we are looking for that possibility of that flat correction here. So keep an eye on this. If we do start to break down to these levels here towards this 26,925 to this 26,264, potentially we could look for a reversal in this point. Alternatively, if it does continue on deeper, the key support range we're still looking to maintain is all the way down to this 24,700 94. As long as we hold that, potentially we could still look for this possibility of pushing up after this move is completed. Even if we do break down A, B, C, come down, even if this extends out and potentially come down here, lower down towards this 25,200 level, or this 25,522 to this 25,382 region, this would still be viable as a potential wave two here, and we could still see that reaction to the upside. So this is what we've got to wait for. If we're saying we've got a low in place here, what we want to see is we want to see this move start to get some traction here. We want to see this start to break to the upside. If we want to say that we've got a low in here, what we want to see is basically a nice strong move here up towards this zone of, let me just change this over, a nice strong five-wave move up towards this zone of this 32,128. That would be the area we're looking to potentially target out for as a third wave. And that would actually give us a move like this, where this becomes a 1, 2, 3, looking for a fourth and then a fifth wave up, which would then tie into that idea that we've got a 1 and 2 here, and then potentially looking to push up for that bigger five-wave move. The problem is, we'd have to actually move up towards this zone here of this 35,192, which would mean that we would have to actually see a little bit of extension within this wave. Otherwise, you can see that our target would actually fall short, because the fifth wave target for this would be much lower than that target area there, and it would actually be looking towards this zone of this 391 to this 32630. So this would actually just mean that we have, a three-wave move here, which wouldn't really fit into into the count, um, and would potentially mean that there could even be a further extension of 1 2 1 2. But that's just very speculative at this point. What we need to do is see whether we get that reaction play out, whether we can see this low hold here and we start to get a nice strong move to the upside, lots of volume, lots of participation. But if it fails to do that and we reject between this 28,425 to this 28,857, I would be anticipating at least another drop down into this zone. If we can't get that high, and we face rejection between this 28,187 to this 27,938. What we could then see is, either this play out as an A, a B, and a C, where we come back down towards some of these lower levels here, or alternatively, this could actually then become a bigger, more impulsive move here, where we have a series of ones and twos here, and this could then become 1 2. We get a bigger breakdown for 3 4 5. Then we'd have another 1 2 here. We'd get another fourth and a fifth, which would actually look to push us deeper down towards potentially between this zone of this 26,581 to this 26,000 area. But really, the target for that as a fifth, we would be looking at these areas of this bigger flat here, this 26,264. But if this starts to extend out like this, it becomes less likely, unless we start to not extend that much, because we'd have too many ones and twos in here to facilitate this move. It would take us well past this zone of this 1618, which we typically look for. And then, well, they can happen. Sometimes we could even move to that 2.618, which potentially could look to actually bring us down a little bit lower here towards this 25,700, something like that. So that's something we got to keep an eye on. There is that bullish potential, but this needs to start showing us, that strength and starting to break some of these highs. For as long as we fail to actually break back above some of these key levels, this 28,373, and this high of this 29,440, we need to just be aware we could see a bigger drop playing out here. So one other thing I wanted to just briefly touch on, I was talking about this earlier, looking at that possibility, saying that this could only be if we break this low, it can only be a fifth wave or a flat move. So this is still possible, and I mean, I haven't talked about this for a while. We were talking about an extension in this wave one, and I was looking at it potentially as completing into these highs here, but I was revising this, and technically speaking, it is possible that we could actually look at this move rather like this, where we have this as a extension in the wave one, two, three. This is a fourth, and this is a fifth. So this is something else I'm just keeping an eye on. It has come up into that typical zone of a that a fifth wave would be looking to complete in. So just keeping an eye on this. If this is the case, basically what it would mean is that we've actually completed here, and we could be looking for a bigger correction down. So I mean, there's a lot of ways we can look at this. This is just something that I thought was interesting, and I'll keep an eye on it. Um, yeah, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback, and also in the description you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out. It is a great place to hang out with people and talk about crypto related things. Not only crypto related things, we often have discussions about loads of different things in there. Really interesting people, really good guys and girls. So come check it out. Everyone, have a great day. See you in the next one.